ושוב לזירה הפנימית האמריקנית, הממשל האמריקני יניח מחר על שולחן הקונגרס בוושינגטון את הצעת תקציב ההגנה לשנה הקרובה, הצעה המסתכמת בקרוב ל$300 מיליארד. הצעה זו אינה כוללת את הוצאות המלחמה במפרץ, אולם בסעיף אחד, מלחמת הכוכבים, מבקש הנשיא בוש תוספת של $4.6 מיליארדי לפיתוח טילים נגד טילים. כתוצאה ישירה ממלחמת המפרץ הגיעה ארצות הברית למסקנה שטילי הפטריוט אינם מספיקים, ויש לפתח סוגי נשק נוספים למלחמות טילים בטווחים בינוניים. כתבנו יאיר שטרן מציין כי סעיף זה יאפשר השקעת סכומים נוספים בפיתוח טיל החץ מתוצרת ישראל המהווה מענה לבעיה זו. את הצפוי בנושא מלחמת הכוכבים סוקר כתב רשת NBC.
The successes of such high-tech weapons as the Patriot anti-missile missile have given proponents of big defense spending a new card to play. In his State of the Union address, President Bush, citing the Patriot's performance, said the Star Wars program, almost killed last year by Congress, should be limited and refocused, but continued. Word leaked yesterday from the Defense Department that he will ask for $4.6 billion more for research and development. That's a 60% increase over his original request, and he has some congressional backing.
I believe that the benefits with the Patriot are showing that the Strategic Defense Initiative, called Star Wars, has real potential.
$24 billion already have been spent on Star Wars research, and just this week the Pentagon strengthened its case for further spending when it announced the program achieved a new level of success when a ground-based interceptor destroyed a mock warhead in space.
There's going to be a fight, I think, from some of the arms manufacturers and from some of their adherents in the Congress that we need to increase defense spending, build another generation of super sophisticated, highly expensive weapons.
The big question is, should the United States use defense money to develop a whole new generation of weapons systems, such as Star Wars, or improve the ones we have now? With defense spending scheduled to be cut by 20% over the next 5 years, accounting for inflation, the money's not there to do both.
The message that goes to the services is you cannot have it all. You have to make choices.
Choices dictated by conflicting realities. A monster deficit and the apparent decline of the Soviet Union as a military threat are countered by future unforeseen challenges such as that posed by Saddam Hussein.
The United States of America and the taxpayers are still going to be laying out in the neighborhood of $250 to $300 billion a year for defense as far as the eye can see.
ומה קורה בכווית? זו עילת המלחמה הנוכחית. תנאי החיים בכווית הפכו לקשים ביותר מאז הכיבוש העיראקי, ובמיוחד מאז תחילת המלחמה. דרכי האספקה מעיראק מנותקות, והאספקה המגיעה מועברת בעיקר לכוחות של הצבא העיראקי. זאת בנוסף להפצצות של בעלות הברית על כוחות הצבא והמתקנים העיראקיים בכווית. כתב רשת CNN הצליח לשוחח בטלפון עם תושב כווית המספר על החיים שם כעת.
Are you able to see activity on the water off the city?
On the waterfront?
Yes.
No, we're not, because nobody's allowed to. The funny thing is nobody has seen the sea since 6 months. I mean, all the houses and all the area around the sea had been blocked by the Iraqis and taken as a military zone. We can't see any activities. There's always some fire. There's bombardment of the seafront sometimes, but nothing we can see.
Going over some of the material we talked about earlier, let's go over it again. Let's talk about desertions and what you can tell us about any sightings of that kind of activity.
Well, in terms of desertion, there's a lot of desertion in the north, in a place called Jahra, which is a township to the north. This is teeming with Iraqi soldiers. So there was desertion, but they began a house-to-house search, and they caught a couple of since then that even if an Iraqi wants to desert, he doesn't have any place to desert to. I mean, he have the front to the south and front to the north, and then he have the city. If he deserts, he'll always be caught by the Iraqis in house-to-house searches. So there's not much of desertion happening now because he doesn't have any way to go.
זה כמעט נעלם מעינינו, אבל בשבוע שעבר השתלטו נחתים אמריקנים על האי מרדים, לאחר שהעיראקים שאספקתם נותקה נטשו אותו. לאחר הכיבוש החזירו הנחתים את האי לידי כוחות כווית. כתבת רשת הטלוויזיה הבריטית WTN.
The tiny island was in Iraqi hands until their troops signaled an apparent intention to surrender. But when US Marines moved in, the island was deserted. The Iraqis left behind artillery pieces and smoldering damage. The Americans say they'd fled in small patrol boats, later involved in a battle with Allied aircraft. They'd evidently left in a hurry, heavy guns still loaded, and large ammunition stocks lying nearby, shells of Jordanian origin, according to the markings on the boxes.
You have to prove it with violence.
The Kuwait Navy was handed back the island and soon landed men there to reclaim it for their country. A kiss for the ground of their homeland. And the Kuwait flag raised in jubilation. The US Marines left their message, and a Kuwait sailor gathered sand as a souvenir for his ship. Just 18 miles from the coast of Kuwait, a small triumph in a much bigger battle.
בהפצצות חיל האוויר האמריקני אתמול הופלו עוד 2 מטוסי אמריקניים באש נ"מ עיראקית מן הקרקע. כתוצאה מכך נעדרים 3 טייסים. יחידות החילוץ האמריקניות מפתחות שיטות לחילוץ טייסים שנפלו בשטח אויב, ועל כך מדווחת כתבת CBS.
They're not top guns. They call themselves bottom rungs. These Air Force PJs or parajumpers and the helicopter pilots who fly them. But for a fighter pilot shot down behind enemy lines, these paramedics in the sky can be the difference between life or capture or even death.
To have, a rescue force there available to them is a great comfort.
Why?
So they can fly again, so they don't have to continually think, oh my God, if I'm shot down, I will not get rescued.
Over the beaches of Long Island, the 106th Air Rescue Wing has stepped up its training.
Because in a desert, environment, then it'll be a high-speed getaway.
And many flyers wish they were in the Persian Gulf to pull off actions like the one last month, when a chopper crew protected by air cover flew deep behind enemy lines to rescue a Navy F-14 Tomcat pilot shot down 8 hours before.
It's really exciting, the fact that their guy can punch out and we can go in and grab him and bring him back to safe ground.
Former Air Force Chief of Staff General Mike Dugan was rescued.
One saw a very pleasant sight of American fighting men coming in to pick up another one that had some difficulty. It was a warm, healthy feeling.
But after the Vietnam War, this specialty began to fade. Air Force strategists doubted that air rescues could be effected on a nuclear battlefield. Desert Storm, though, has given the Air Rescue Wings a shot in the arm.
It's quite a feeling to know that your mission is to go to save a life, instead of to take one out.
Rescue pilots always remember and never forget that if they didn't risk their lives, there'd be more POWs and MIAs.
Get out of here. On to go.
Jacqueline Adams, CBS News, West Hampton Beach, New York.
נשיא ארצות הברית ג'ורג בוש הכריז על יום זה, יום ראשון, כעל יום תפילה למען החיילים האמריקנים הלוחמים במפרץ ולמען בני משפחותיהם. בוש עצמו ביקר בסוף השבוע אצל משפחות החיילים כדי לעודד אותן ולשאוב עידוד מהן. בנושא זה כתבת רשת ABC.
Patriotic fervor is like a muscle. If you don't exercise it, it might dry up on you. Goldsboro, North Carolina is flexing its patriotism to the max.
This is a very pro-military town because of the proximity of the base, I suppose, but also it's just the way our people are.
The base is Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, home of the 4th Tactical Fighter Wing and its F-15Es, the Strike Eagles. 2 of its flyers are missing in action. 2 are prisoners of war. Goldsboro has paid its dues.
The President of the United States, George Bush!
When he visited the base yesterday, the President met privately with the grieving families and spoke publicly to the rest, especially to the kids.
I want you to know that your parents, your loved ones, our troops in the Gulf, are enduring the hardships of war today so that you may know the blessings of peace tomorrow.
My dad contains missiles. He works on the missiles to see if they're good enough to bomb Baghdad or wherever Saddam Hussein is.
Are you the man in the family now?
Yes, I am.
For kids, life begins early in wartime, and life goes on for families half a world apart.
I haven't allowed my life to change. That's his job, and in my opinion, he does it 100%. He's good at what he does.
We were up the night the war started, both of us at my house, cheering him on. We're very proud of him, but waiting for him to come home.
At a close game last night between two arch rivals before an overflow crowd, even here, the war intrudes, seems somehow closer. At least it does for Michael Coles and Kevin Gurley.
I haven't heard from him in a while.
And what do you write to him or call, or say to him when he calls?
I tell him I love him, you know, to keep him going, I guess. You know. He knew what he had to do when he joined the military, but I miss him, man. I wish he was back here with us.
Do you have any advice for other families?
Not to pay much attention to the people who protest the war. Just have faith in your husbands, have faith in your country, and everything will work out right.
There may be some anti-war sentiment in Goldsboro, but it is not overt. Its public heartbeat, at least, is a flat line. This is where the strike eagles nest, under a Carolina sky. Ray Gandolf, ABC News, Goldsboro, North Carolina.